after the Supreme Court decision last week, can you confirm that girls will have separate facilities that boys are not allowed to use in the schools that you obviously oversee?
The Supreme Court ruling gives real clarity and confidence to women and service providers. With regards to schools, nothing changes because there's clear guidance in place already with regards to admissions for schools and indeed single-sex spaces such as toilets.
What about more broadly? Do you think we'll be getting guidance from the government this week on what it means for single-sex spaces across the country?
I expect the Secretary of State will want to make a statement in the House at some point, and obviously the EHRC will publish further guidance in due course.
In terms of schools specifically, I mean, you're saying there's already guidance, so there's a guidance that girls have their own facilities to use?
That's correct, yes. And more broadly, obviously, we have things on the curriculum and we have guidance issued to schools, and it's really important that teachers have confidence in using that guidance available to schools. So
the Supreme Court decision doesn't change anything, as you see it, as it relates to schools?
That's right. Obviously, it referred to matters such as hospitals, refugees and sports clubs, but my understanding is that it won't have any difference to schools.
Over the weekend, obviously, there's been protests against the Supreme Court decision. Some of the terminology we've seen used at these protests, whether it was expressed verbally or on placards, has been pretty firm, or perhaps worse than that. What is your view on the scale of some of the protests?
Well, I think the Equalities Minister's already said today that that was completely unacceptable language. You know, the Supreme Court brings real clarity and guidance to and confidence to women and service providers, and now obviously the government will respond to that in due course.
One placard in particular suggested that people like J.K. Rowling should be hanged. Clearly, Kemi Badenoch has come out to say that that's, quote, criminal incitement, that if the law is not enforced, we don't have equality, we have two-tier justice. Do you agree with that statement from the Leader of the Opposition? I
mean, it's completely unacceptable language to be used, and obviously any matters that break the law should be reported to the police, and hopefully police action is taken.
Over the summer, last summer, in face of the Southport protests, the Prime Minister said quite a few times, loudly and explicitly, that the full force of the law would be used against protesters who crossed the line. Do you know why we haven't seen any similar rhetoric from the Prime Minister this time?
As I said, I think if laws have been broken, then it's right that things are reported to the police and police take action.
Do you think we'll hear from the Prime Minister specifically on this today?
I expect a statement in the House will be made later today with regards to the Supreme Court ruling, and obviously that's the right thing to do as Parliament returns today from recess.
And then just finally, do you have a message towards people, not specifically just J.K. Rowling, but people like J.K. Rowling and the other women who've fought this case, I guess, not just about the criticism that they've faced over the weekend from protests, but for many weeks, months and years leading up to reaching this decision?
So, as I said earlier, I think this court case brings clarity and indeed confidence to women and to service providers. We've always been clear as a party that we should protect single-sex spaces, and obviously the Secretary of State will announce further details in due course with regards to the government's response to this.
Stephen Moore, thanks for joining us this morning.
You're
Good
welcome.
to see you.